Somewhere above the endless Indian Ocean, a Boeing 777 disappeared. Without a call, without a trace. No distress signal, no wreckage, just silence. Years have passed, but the world still asks, where is MH370? Join us as we follow the largest search in aviation history, where every discovery brings us closer to the truth. March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, heading toward Beijing Capital International Airport. A routine journey on a Boeing 777, one of the safest and most reliable aircraft in the sky. 239 souls were on board, passengers from 14 countries, families, business travelers, and crew. Nobody imagined this flight would become one of the greatest aviation mysteries of the 21st century. Minutes after takeoff, everything seemed normal. The plane climbed smoothly into the sky, maintaining regular contact with air traffic controllers.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
But then, just 40 minutes after departure, at 1:19 a.m. local time, MH370 disappeared from civilian radar screens. Families watched in horror as the news spread. The world waited, hoping for answers that never came. What followed was a desperate attempt to piece together clues, searching for answers in a sea of uncertainty. As the hours turned into days after MH370 disappeared, the scope of the tragedy began to sink in. This was no ordinary missing plane case. It was a mystery unfolding on a global scale, with millions watching, millions hoping, and millions waiting for answers. The search for flight MH370 quickly became the largest and most complex aviation search in history. Within hours of the plane vanishing from radar, Malaysia activated search and rescue operations. The initial focus was on the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand, areas closest to the last confirmed radar contact. But the situation quickly grew more complicated. Military radar data, analyzed over the next 48 hours, revealed that the aircraft had taken a sharp turn westward, crossing back over the Malay Peninsula and flying toward the Strait of Malacca. This route took it far off its intended flight path to Beijing and strongly suggested deliberate control rather than an accident. This discovery prompted authorities to expand the search area dramatically, from the South China Sea into the Andaman Sea, where radar coverage was limited and ocean conditions more challenging. Then came a breakthrough. On March 12th, British satellite company Inmarsat reported that it had detected radar, with the final signal detected at 8:19 a.m., nearly 7 hours after takeoff. This resulted in a series of curved paths across the Indian Ocean, known as satellite arcs. The final arc, the seventh arc, recorded at 8:19 a.m., became the focus of the deep-sea search. It suggested the plane had likely run out of fuel and crashed somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean, far from any land. Between March and April 2014, countries across the region launched a massive multinational search effort. Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Singapore sent planes and ships. As the mystery deepened, more nations joined the search. China, with the largest number of passengers on board, sent dozens of vessels and aircraft. Australia, with its vast coastline and advanced search capabilities, took a leading role in coordinating the search in the southern Indian Ocean. The United States contributed with high-tech surveillance aircraft, satellite data analysis, and deep-sea search technology. In total, over 26 countries participated, pooling resources and expertise in an unprecedented multinational effort. But the search was unlike anything before. The Indian Ocean is one of the most remote, deep, and inhospitable bodies of water on Earth. The search area spanned over 21 trillion square feet, larger than many countries combined. In some places, the ocean is almost 23,000 feet deep, deeper than the tallest mountains on land. Strong currents, unpredictable weather, and vast expanses of open water made the search difficult and dangerous. Over the months, multiple false sightings and debris finds raised hopes, only to be dashed when objects turned out to be unrelated. The vastness of the ocean made even the smallest clue difficult to verify. Tensions flared at times between governments over communication and coordination. Families waiting for news grew frustrated and heartbroken. Yet, despite setbacks, the search pressed on with determination. In July 2015, more than a year after the disappearance, a piece of aircraft debris washed ashore on Réunion Island in the western Indian Ocean. This confirmed that MH370 had indeed crashed into the sea. In the following months, other pieces of debris were found along the East African coast, on Madagascar, and on islands scattered across the Indian Ocean. Each piece told a part of the story: fragments from wings, flaps, interior panels, but none revealed the main crash site. Using the latest sonar technology and deep-sea robots, ships scanned the ocean floor meticulously. They mapped rugged underwater mountains, canyons, and plains, but found no sign of the plane. After nearly 2 years and over 1.29 trillion square feet covered, the search was suspended in January 2018. Despite the suspension in 2018, interest and hope never faded. In 2023 and 2024, renewed efforts from private groups and independent experts reignited the search for MH370. Then, in 2025, a new search expedition launched, led by advanced autonomous underwater vehicles. The deep-sea exploration company Ocean Infinity launched a new mission to locate the missing aircraft, using cutting-edge autonomous underwater vehicles capable of scanning thousands of square miles at extreme depths. Backed by a no-find, no-fee agreement with the Malaysian government, the company focused on a refined search area based on updated satellite, drift, and radio signal data. The expedition, involving the high-tech vessel Armada 7806, began in February 2025 and targeted a 5,800 square mile zone, expanding the search area beyond the original 7th arc. With improved technology, the 2025 expedition aimed to map previously unexplored sections of the Indian Ocean seafloor at unprecedented detail. Though the main wreckage remains missing, the search operation reshaped international cooperation in aviation incidents. It exposed gaps in flight tracking technology, leading to new standards requiring planes to broadcast location data more frequently. It spurred advances in underwater search methods, satellite data analysis, and oceanographic science. Time works against search efforts. The Indian Ocean's powerful currents scatter debris widely. Deep-sea corrosion and marine life erase physical traces over time. The disappearance of MH370 is a race against the ocean itself, vast, dark, and relentless. The search for MH370 is a story of human determination, cutting-edge technology, and the limits of what we can find in the face of the unknown. It remains one of the most ambitious and challenging searches ever attempted. And though the plane has not yet been found, the search itself has forever changed the way we look for missing aircraft. More than a decade has passed, and still the ocean keeps its silence. The search for MH370 has become a symbol of mystery, of humanity's need to understand the unknown. Each new expedition brings us closer, not just to debris, but to meaning. Because what was lost was more than a plane. It was a moment in time, swallowed by the deep. Subscribe to Archive of the Deep, and join us in the search for what still lingers beneath the waves.